Is a two-state solution possible in the Middle East? I have very strong opinions based on the Torah, based on the Lubavitcher Rebbe, and what we see clearly, facts on the field. First, let's hear from former Prime Minister Naftali Bennett and his thoughts.
Is a two-state solution ever going to be possible?
You know, the Palestinians had a state. In Gaza, they had an independent state. There was no siege at the beginning, nothing. We handed all of Gaza over to the Palestinians and said, go build yourselves a life. And that was in 2005. And instead, what they did, they built a terror nation. They built tunnels and rockets and missiles in order to kill as many Jews as possible. That's what they did with billions of dollars. So to think that we should now try this again in a bigger scope in Judea and Samaria, that would be a huge mistake for the state of Israel. We don't want to govern the Palestinians. I don't want to govern the Palestinians. They should have their own autonomy, their own entity. But a full-blown state that would, again, threaten Israel, that's not going to work. And
do you think there's ever going to be peace with that?
So giving over Gaza in 2005 was obviously a huge mistake, because look what happened. October 7th eventually came about. It took many years for them to build up the underground tunnels of hundreds of miles. Instead of taking care of their people, they wanted to bring terror to the land of Israel and the people of Israel. And just to bring out the point that a two-state solution cannot be a solution, it's very simple. Who you love, you take care and you express to them your real heart's desire. Well, who do you love? Your children. How do they educate their children in Gaza? For that matter, the West, in Yehud and Shomron, the Arab populace there, and not all Arab states today, but many Arab states that even have a peace accord with Israel. How do they educate their children? Well, first of all, that there is no Israel. It's called Palestine. So how could you create an entity of giving away land to people that don't even acknowledge your existence? Now you might say, well, they don't acknowledge because you're not giving them the capacity to govern themselves, and you're creating, whatever you're creating that is, of course, creating the animosity and the terrorism in return. That's a lie. Be honest. There was never a time that any of these nation states around Israel, let alone, those that live in Israel, ever educated their children that Israel is called Israel and is the homeland of the Jewish people. No. In their textbooks and what they teach their children, it's called Palestine. Well, if you don't recognize our right to exist there as Jews, and you believe that it really belongs to be another Muslim state, and we should give you then a state, so therefore you could then come to try to eradicate from the river to the sea, it's not going to happen. And even talk of such a thing happening is already allowing the evil notion to be entertained. Shouldn't even be talk of such a thing. By Israelis, I'm talking about by the Israeli hierarchy and leaders. Am Yisrael Chai.